Okay, great stuff. So, my name is Jackie Baker. I'm used to be a work colleague with Amelia Marriette, who is doing the presentation today. We worked together probably around 10 years ago now, and doing a renovation on a art gallery and museum in South Devon. And we had great fun working together, and then we developed a friendship and have kept in touch. Amelia is now living in Austria, and I now reside in Wiltshire, but we still keep in regular contact with each other. Recently, Amelia has written a book called Walking into Alchemy, and we thought we'd like to share with everybody more about this amazing book that Amelia has written. So over to you, Amelia. Would you like to just do a brief introduction about who you are?
Hello, yes, my name is Amelia Marriette, and I am the author of Walking into Alchemy, the Transformative Power of Nature. I'm not one for catchy titles there. Yes, it was published last December, and my book tour was cancelled, so we're going to digital media and Zoom and so on to try and get the word out a little bit more. And thank you, Jackie, for helping me spread the word about my book.
Yeah, that's my absolute pleasure that we can do this. As you say, we had great plans for doing a book tour. However, circumstances prevented that from happening. And it's great to obviously take on board the digital age and do it this way. And hopefully we'll actually get engagement from a lot more people.
That's the
we
idea.
want people to, yeah, definitely, hopefully, fingers crossed. We want people to feedback. We want people to ask questions. And join us and get engaged with what we're doing. So we thought, as an introduction, I'm going to ask Amelia, why and how did you end up relocating to Austria?
Yes, well, it's a good opening question. My partner, Katie Gale, is Austrian, and she was born in the town where we now live, which is Bad St. Leonhard in the Carinthian region of Austria. So we're kind of quite close to Italy. We're sort of about 2.5 hours from Vienna and 2 to 3 hours from Venice. So it's a fantastic place to be in the middle of Central Europe. And I was made redundant from my job as a keeper of art, and rather in financial straits. And Katie very luckily inherited a house, her mother's house in Austria. So one day, in a slight sort of fit of pique and possibly in a comedy moment, I said, "Oh, I don't know why we don't go and live in Austria, as you do." And my partner said, "Okay," which was a bit of a shock. And so when I picked myself up off the floor, we got ourselves organised and we planned it. And about a year later, we were here.
Excellent. And yeah, you moved from South Devon,
Yes.
lock, stock and barrel, all the way over to Austria. And you've been there a few years. I only had the opportunity to actually come and visit you last summer. You had a fantastic home in Newton Abbot in Devon, which we used to call the Magical Kingdom, and it was a lovely, lovely house. But you've taken that magic with you to your house in Austria, which is, or Katie's house, your home in Austria, and it is just an amazing location, better than expected, fantastic house, garden and surroundings. And it was lovely when I visited you last summer just to see a part of the walk that you did, and to experience the environment up there in the mountains. It was an amazing, amazing place. So would you like to share why you did that walk? What prompted you to decide to do this walk over a 12-month period?
Well, when you relocate abroad, it is in many cases wonderful and delirious and fantastic, and this is like a paradise living in Austria. But of course, there's the downside of it, really. When you get made redundant, when you lose your job, for me, I've been working for 34 years. in various jobs, curating, and also I worked for the Ministry of Defence, and I did all kinds of things really. I worked for a film company, producing Shakespeare films and CDs and so on, back in the days when we had CDs. Suddenly you've got no focus really, you've got no structure, and nobody really cares whether you get up in the morning or not. I mean, your family and your partner may do, I suppose, because they want you to help with the washing up, if nothing else. But in actual fact, you don't really have any purpose in life. And so, as I say, I started working, I was actually 16. So, you know, to suddenly go from that to kind of nothing was quite a shock. And in the summer, when we first arrived in Austria, it was absolutely fantastic. The weather was wonderful. We could do the garden, have barbecues, and it was just like, wow, it's wonderful. And then you get to sort of, you know, Christmas time. And Christmas is not my favorite time of year. I think a lot of people feel a little bit like that. And I suddenly thought, whoa, now what? So I actually went for a walk. I was waiting for my house sale to go through, which didn't on the day before Christmas. So that was also a little bit depressing. It then took a further sort of nearly 3 months, which we won't talk about. I really felt pretty down, I'll be honest. So I started a walk, and I realized about an hour in that I had done the walk once before, but I'd done it the other way round. It's a circular walk, so you can do it either way. And I thought, well, I think I'll just do the whole walk. And I was gone for well over 4 or 5 hours. And I obviously sent Katie a message at one point and said, I'm going to be a while. And I was really, really tired because I wasn't very fit at all. And it was quite cold, but it was sunny, I remember. And when I came back, I realized it was the 52nd week of the year. And I thought, well, maybe I could do the walk another sort of, 51 times and across the year, and do it every week, and just carry on with the same walk and just go through all the seasons, and it will give my life structure. I will get to know my environment. I get to understand the seasons, which are a little bit different to England in the sense that things have come out a little bit later in spring, for example. Obviously, I get to walk in snow, which I love. And I would probably engage with some people and meet them and have to talk a little bit in my very bad German. So it started to grow, really. And that's why I decided to do it. So it's kind of a little bit out of, I wouldn't exactly say desperation, but I just really needed to give myself a job. So that's what I did.
Yeah, you needed to set yourself a target. And what a fantastic way to get fit and engage in the countryside, which you talk about in the book, that you'd lost that closeness to nature and gardening, and that's all come back to you. What would you say? So what was the sort of defining moment, the catalyst that you thought, well, I could write a book about this? What prompted you?
Well, I think that if you do something just for yourself, for me particularly, I knew that I would probably get to sort of, if I was lucky, I might get to February and I would probably give up. Because I'm the kind of person that always buys a diary, and by about, maybe if I get to the 6th of January, I think, well done, Amelia. And it's not that I don't have lots and lots of plans and targets, and I've always done that, but actually maybe doing something across an entire year is a new thing for me. Keeping a diary at all, which I've actually almost for 5 years now, I've managed to keep a diary almost every day, which I'd never in my life done before. So I thought, if I make it into either, I thought maybe a blog, it might be a weekly blog, or ultimately a book, I will do it. And I then realized that I couldn't do a blog because I just didn't really have time to get on with it, and to do the walk, think about the walk, write the walk, catalogue the photographs, and do the blog all within a week, and all the other things I was doing in the garden and so on as well, and decorating, and doing up an old house, which we were also doing. I thought it would make me do it. And also I do believe in the printed word. I love technology. My room now, if you could see it, is full of all kinds of bits of kit, which I absolutely love. But I love books. You might be able to see behind me, I've got quite a few books. I bought my entire library of probably 4,000 or 5,000 books with me here, and maybe 100. Anyway, a lot of books. Anyway, I really believe in the printed word, and to have something that you've had printed is just, it was always a dream of mine, really. I mean, I've written plays and I've had them performed, but I'd never actually written a book that was published. And so that made it real, I suppose, in a way, for me.
Fantastic. So that's a really good introduction. People out there have an introduction to you and to me. We're going to do this on a regular basis and start talking about your life in Austria, about the previous jobs you've had. You've had lots of interesting things, including radio shows and plays, and also where we can go from here with what people want to talk about and the topics that people want to talk about.
Sure.
And share their thoughts and their ideas, and also for people to hopefully read the book and get something from it, because it is a very enlightening, inspiring, amazing book, and recommend it for everyone to read. But we just really want people to engage and share our passion and your passion about Austria and about the book and about the benefit of walking and how it helped you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Jackie. Thanks. This is our first installment, and I've very much enjoyed talking about myself. Talking with you. And we shall reconvene, if that's the word, in later in the week, perhaps.
Yes.
I will share this. And thank you very much indeed. And I shall say goodbye now to you. So I'm going to stop sharing from my lovely photographs, which of the Austrian countryside, and we shall see you anon. Okay.
Goodbye,
thank you very much indeed.
Bye.
Bye-bye.